Good morning guys from beautiful Penzance. A real spur of the moment thing this. I have decided, I've got a few hours to kill, I have decided to go and take the bus up to a place called Boscaswell on the Tin Coaster, I believe it's called. Don't know much about it, but yeah, it's about 35 minutes from here, and yeah, it heads towards the north coast of Cornwall. Now, I've never been to Boscaswell before, but I believe it's got a real rich heritage of tin mining, hence the name of the bus route, I guess. So yeah, let's go and have a look, see what it's like, and I'll see you on the bus. Yes, Boscaswell, or Boscarswell, you tell me how it's pronounced, is a small village just north of Pendeen, but they both seem to be very closely integrated looking at the map. In fact, when you look at the timetable, it gives Pendeen as the final destination, with Boscaswell Estate as the final stop. And as I make my way to the bus station here in Penzance, I can tell you that, yeah, the route will take approximately 35 minutes, with one other major stop en route, which is the town of St Just. Now, I just had time to check the timetables displayed here, as our bus was already waiting on stand C, a 7.5-year-old Cornwall by Kerno ADL Enviro 400 MMC, with stop-start technology apparently. Slightly confusing, this red bus displayed the Tinner on the side, which is another route heading up towards Truro, but it did show the Tin Coaster route name on the dot matrix board at the front. Now when you look at the timetables, it does say the Tin Coaster is an open top bus, so yeah, if you're trying this in season, I would expect that to be the case, but yeah, we were still in March, so I was kind of glad those buses weren't actually on stand today. Now I paused briefly on the lower deck, which I thought looked really spacious here, with plenty of room for wheelchairs, pushchairs, etc. right at the front. Now then it was up the stairs for me, which was equally as spacious, I thought, and very bright too, considering there wasn't really much in the way of windows in the roof. Now just walking towards the rear here, you can see that there is some table seating available, and the back seats do look like a very sociable space, don't they? And the rest of the seating was laid out in the usual airline style seating configuration. Plenty to choose from today. I did of course head for the front row. And just before 11:20 we reversed off stand. At the time of this recording the bus ran about every hour, but yeah, as always I would recommend checking the timetable. I'll link to the relevant website in the description below. Oh, by the way, the building in front of us here is the Premier Inn, which I was staying in during my time here. And to the right of that is the railway station, so yeah, you can see how handy all this is in terms of public transport and accommodation. We then proceed up what I would say is the main street in Penzance, Market Jew Street. Interesting name too, isn't it? If anyone knows the origins of the name, then please do tell in the comments below. And then we're breezing through the outskirts of Penzance on the Alverton Road before turning onto the A3071 towards Newbridge and the Fountain Inn, one of these old cottage style Cornish pubs you find in this part of the world. And around 10 minutes into the journey now, we're up onto the higher ground. You can turn right here onto the B3318 if you want to go directly to Pendeen. Well, interestingly, just before this is another right turn, and that'll take you straight past the VOR navigational aid for Land's End Airport. You know, I would have definitely liked to have seen that, but yeah, we're heading straight on towards St Just, which is the only real population centre on the whole of this route. Well, this is proper old mining country now, isn't it? A few dark and brooding clouds just seem to accentuate the hillside and the ruins of the mines that seem to be everywhere you look. The chimneys, the old reservoirs, the random skeletons of buildings at the roadside. Now how busy this must have been back in the boom times of the 19th century. And not just for tin, by the way, but copper as well. Now, I'm certainly no expert on it, but yeah, if I did want to learn more about this rich mining history, then yeah, St Just and the surrounding area seems to me to be the place to come. And just as importantly, of course, it's reachable by bus. And we reach St Just, or maybe I should call it St Just in Penwith, about 20 minutes into the journey, and squeezing our double-decker through the narrow streets on our way towards the centre of town. Well, there's no railway station here, although back in its heyday, Great Western Railway were going to make it the terminus of the main Cornwall to London main line, believe it or not. But like I said, there are connections by bus, and not just from Penzance, but St Ives and Land's End too, on the Land's End coaster. And that's another open top bus, which is, by the way, a much longer journey. And maybe I'll try that next time I'm down here. We make our way to St Just, past the War Memorial clock here as we leave town. And leave town is just what many people did do after the collapse of the tin trade. The population at its peak in the 19th century was just over 9,000, but nowadays that figure is under 5,000 according to recent census numbers. But in 2006 it was announced that the St Just mining district and the rest of the historic mining areas of Cornwall were to be designated World Heritage Site status, now formerly known as the Cornwall and West Devon Mining Landscape World Heritage Site. So, you know, every cloud has a silver lining, doesn't it? And yeah, as we approach Pendeen, I will show you how you can sample some of this history for yourself. But let's now focus on the bus a bit more. It was lovely and warm up here on the front seats, and the front window had a blue tint at the top, and above the glass was a bus stopping indicator. And my companion on the front row had got off at this point, so I was able to show you a better view of the seats here. And looking back down the bus, well, do you know what? I think I was the only one left on the top deck, and to be honest, this is one of the main reasons I like travelling out of season. If you get the weather, it's brilliant, isn't it? Also, this bus was very clean, the seats and floor in general, not just on the top deck, but on the stairs as well. And the seat itself, well, you have double USB connectivity here, and very smart headrests actually, with grab handle to the one side. A good cushioning on the back and bottom of the seat, and legroom, well, it wasn't bad here at the front, which, yeah, does tend to be the seats with the least space in my experience. Note also the seats in front of the stairs here don't have headrests. On the B3306 now, more blue skies as we head into the little hamlet of Truthwall. Another interesting name. I couldn't help wondering how that one came about. Somebody got off here, a local resident I presume, and yeah, it's just a reminder that this bus isn't just for tourists, is it? Especially at this time of year. And then we left the B road for a minute to squeeze along a few more country lanes in Bottalack, and yeah, being a double decker it probably feels wider than it actually is, when in reality I doubt there's any difference between this and a single decker bus. Right then guys, you're about 8 minutes away from our destination, Boscaswell, Pendeen. It's a really quiet bus, so I'm able to speak to you on the top deck with nobody else around at all. It's a lovely little bit. The scenery is really nice, and it's really evocative of that old historic tin mining, a traditional way of life in Cornwall, this part of Cornwall anyway, I guess. So yeah, really interesting, and hopefully there will be a lot more interesting things to explore once I get there. So we played on through another small hamlet called Carnyorth, where the B3306 narrows considerably before widening again on its way to Truellard, giving you another opportunity to laugh at my pronunciation. And then, as promised, this is your stop if you want to sample some of that Cornish mining heritage you've already seen en route, the Givor Tin Mine Museum. Now, the actual mine closed back in 1990, but you can now explore some of the workings for yourself, and handily, the bus stop is right outside the entrance, isn't it? Absolutely perfect. And you can catch a glimpse of the sea here as we head down towards Boscaswell and Pendeen. There's a spa shop in Pendeen, which is handy if you forgot your lunch, as I did. And then the bus turns left and heads down to Lower Boscaswell, its final stop and turning point. And there's just enough time to tell you that my adult single fare cost me £2, thanks once again to the English bus fare cap in operation at the time of this video. And after the bus had finished reversing, I made my way down the stairs, I thanked the driver, and I headed off on a walk to the nearby Pendeen Lighthouse, just about a mile away across the fields. After that, I returned to Pendeen to catch the bus back, where, yeah, waiting in the shelter, I just took a minute or two to sum up the journey. Right then, guys, yeah, the tin coaster all the way from Penzance up to Boscaswell, or Pendeen really, isn't it? Yeah, about 35 minutes that took. I thought it was a very pleasant journey. Lots of scenic, historic sights to see on the way, wasn't it? The old tin mines. Yeah, it really did create that sense of history. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. The bus itself was, yeah, pretty good. USB connectivity, decent seats. Upstairs there were table seating as well. Did you see that? And right at the back as well, there were a couple of tables. I'm trying to sit there on the way back, actually. Yeah, the driver, well, he didn't say much, did he? But yeah, £2 because of the bus fare cap at the moment. You cannot go wrong for that. And I really enjoyed it. So like I said, I'm heading back now, back into Penzance for some more adventures a little bit later on in the day. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Thank you very much for joining me on another bus journey. Hope to see you on another one again soon. And as always, guys, cheers for now.